Los Angeles music exec Rodell Delphin sold a home he spent years restoring and went in search for another diamond in the rough. He's now been renting for a year and is getting even more anxious to buy a place of his own.
I love renovating homes, so I'm looking for a fixer that I can live in for the next 5 or 10 years. I'm looking for a house that has at least 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. My budget is right around 1.2.
But his top priority is finding a house with a distinct design.
To me, a house is like a piece of art. And I'm looking for something that has great architectural detail, either a mid-century home or a craftsman, something that speaks to me.
He also wants a large living room for entertaining.
So the next place has to have a kitchen this size. And no matter how old the house is, the kitchen has to be modern.
He'll also need plenty of room for his hobbies.
So this is my classic car, and I have a couple classic motorcycles, so I need a garage in my next place to store all this stuff. I've been looking for a year, and I've narrowed my choices down to 2 homes.
House number 1 is a 1912 Craftsman located in the historic district of Windsor Square. House number 2, a mid-century modern, is just 4 miles north and located in the coveted Hollywood Hills. Each house is a classic, as well as a fixer. The Craftsman is 800 square feet bigger. The mid-century modern house may be $300,000 more, but has a pool and views of the city.
Well, one of the big fears with finding a fixer property is not knowing, what you're getting yourself into.
Here to help Rodell avoid buying a vintage home that's a money pit is a pair of real estate pros who are here to determine which home is a good buy for him.
I'm here to make sure he chooses a great renovation project, something that will retain its market value.
I'm an expert in design and restoration. I'm here to share my knowledge with Rodell so he avoids the most common pitfalls and money traps that homeowners fall into.
Rodell rendezvous with our experts at house number 1, the Craftsman.
This house is priced well below the area average. 1 block to the west, a house just sold for $1.275. So it gives you a chance to come in, buy the worst property in the best neighborhood and bring it up.
This particular house is under what's called HPOZ, which is a Historic Preservation Overlay Zone.
Overall, protects the neighborhood, which protects your value and increases your value.
Great architecture. Horrible color.
Okay, so I'm not sure about the stained glass. I know it's original, but I was thinking about replacing this whole section here.
Resale-wise, don't remove detail. Add more. Don't take away what you already have. Yeah. You're throwing money away.
So this area is a big question mark for me.
Well, right off the bat, it's a big area. It's good news. Bad news, you see, I get it. It's a wreck.
But how modern can I go?
Well, the kitchen needs to have all of the modern amenities that people will expect, but it needs to look vintage. I would advocate no recessed lighting. I like to avoid granite countertops. They read a little contemporary.
Karen shows Rodell materials that are appropriate to a Craftsman house, such as field tile for the backsplash and soapstone for the countertops.
Those are some colorful options, but still sort of handcrafted feeling.
How much is everything going to cost me to redo this whole kitchen?
Between $65,000 to $75,000.
You almost can't spend too much money on your kitchen.
Upstairs are 5 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms, which all need some serious upgrades that could cost up to $70,000. While the foundation in the Craftsman is in good condition, the systems need to be replaced. And that's not all. The backyard needs landscaping, and the garage is a mess.
But you have to keep it.
I can't tear it down.
No, you just kill your resale value.
Current code dictates the property must have a garage. Since this one needs to be completely rebuilt, it will be very pricey.
At least 30 grand.
The mid-century modern is up next. This 1962 classic lacks curb appeal, but its $1.2 million price tag is appropriate for this upscale Hollywood Hills neighborhood.
The mid-century modern has a nice indoor-outdoor feeling to it, and this has some of that, but not all of it, and I think you would want to recapture that feeling.
Definitely have some issues with this whole area.
We're right in the corner of the house. Could we pop through and create something on the other side so that you have a double-sided fire element? Again, indoor, outdoor.
The 4 bedrooms may look okay, but all the single-paned windows need to be upgraded to dual-paned for safety and efficiency. That could run $70 grand.
So I definitely want to reconfigure this whole kitchen. I would move the sink so that it faces the window.
Oh, yeah.
We're on a slab foundation in this house. So your plumbing is in the slab.
So with all these changes, how much are we talking about?
$80,000 to $95,000.
You know what? You gotta do it.
Yeah.
You know, this is just like the dream house.
Yeah.
But it needs some work.
Rodell would want to redesign the pool, replace the iron rail with glass, and add a lower deck.
It would be gorgeous. It would be very expensive. I think at least $100,000.
The comps in the neighborhood run from about $850 to $1.8 million. So there's a lot of room, but if you can't spend $100,000 on your pool and $100,000 on your kitchen and $100,000 in your living room, you know, you've got to come up with a budget and kind of stay with it.
Coming up, Rodell's master design plans for both houses will cost big bucks. Which one will our experts say is the good buy for him?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Los Angeles music executive Rodell Delphin wants to buy a vintage house that he can restore to its original beauty with a budget of $1.2 million. He's narrowed his choices down to a 1912 Craftsman in a Los Angeles historic district and a 1962 mid-century modern located in the exclusive Hollywood Hills. When it comes to his wish list, both homes meet his architectural expectations. But neither one has a modern kitchen. While the Craftsman has a bigger backyard, the mid-century modern has a better entertaining space. Real estate agent David Keene and restoration specialist Karen Vidal have checked out both properties and are ready to tell Rodell which home is a good buy for him.
The Craftsman is in a great neighborhood. It's a large house with a big lot.
And it's got amazing potential. The downside is the house needs all new systems, everything. And another big negative for the house is the garage. It's going to be expensive. You're looking at spending between $300,000 to $350,000 to renovate the house properly.
With a list price of $899,000, the total cost of the house could be over $1.2 million.
Okay, the mid-century house. Let me just say view. It's an amazing view. You know, it's a fun house.
On the downside, you have a terrible kitchen, very small, to deal with a lot of windows. You're going to have to get into the pool, resurfacing it, doing the tile, and rebuilding that deck out there. There really isn't a style here, so you're going to have to invest a lot to introduce the mid-century elements that the house is lacking. That's going to be pricey. You know, it's a more pared-down aesthetic, but it's an expensive aesthetic. So you're looking at $300,000 to $350,000 for your renovations.
With a list price of $1.2, the final cost of this house could add up to over $1.5 million.
And we think the good buy for you is
The Craftsman.
the Craftsman.
Really?
Yeah.
We do.
Wow.
It's a great house.
With the Craftsman, you're getting more house for less money.
That's true.
And there's a great style there for you to really go with and bring that out.
You know, I was surprised when they selected the Craftsman because I thought the mid-century home was much more conducive to entertaining. It took me about a couple weeks to figure out which home was going to be right for me. And the house that I decided to go with was the Craftsman. I love the detail of the house. You know, it's much more of a classic architectural home. And I think once it's all said and done and it's completely renovated, the house is going to be fantastic.